Lieutenant General David Morrison, thank you so much for being on the 51% YouTube channel. First of all, you made an extraordinary speech inside there. Can you just recap some of the things that you said?
Well, it's down to all of us to come together to try and end sexual violence in conflict, and the soldier has a key role in that. As I said in the speech, everything crystallises to the act of an individual, and in the case of a soldier, it's a simple, terrible choice to be a protector or a perpetrator. But we've also got to recognise that we draw soldiers from our societies, and all of our societies around the globe, everyone, in first world countries, in developing countries, in secular countries, in non-secular countries, there is an overwhelming denial of human rights accorded to women. They forego opportunities in education, in business, in enterprise. They are the victims of domestic violence, and we need to recognise that as a starting point we have to address that. Once we draw soldiers from societies where there is a real respect for gender and ethnic diversity, then you're going to have armies able to be protectors, not perpetrators.
There were some things that you said, I'm just going to quote back to you. One of the things is the fact that the world squanders the use of women. I mean, is a global disgrace.
It is a global disgrace, and it's something that I have become very passionate about while I've been the Chief of the Australian Army, and I am an ambassador for White Ribbon in my country, which focuses on domestic violence. And in my country, as in all countries, there is a absolutely terrible tragedy that unfolds in millions of households around the globe, where women are the subject and the victims in domestic violence. And of course that then translates into areas of conflict where women are subject to rape as weapons of war. Soldiers have a role to play here. The Australian Army is a great force for good. I'm proud to be a soldier. I've seen the work of the French Army and many nations around the world where soldiers have stood up and been protected. But they've got to be trained, and they've got to understand their role, that they are a force for good.
Now, one of the things you suggested is that all areas of the military should be open to women. I mean, that is a touchy point in many countries, isn't it?
Well, and it will be up to every country to decide what's best in their own case. I can't make any comment about that. But in Australia, as in many other countries, all areas of the military have now been open to women. All it is a recognition that talent, not gender, will be the prevailing criteria for who occupies the role. And when women and men are working together, not just in the militaries but in business areas, you see the real advantages from diversity. Respect of other people's opinions, the opportunities for people to realise their potential, the harnessing of talent from all around the globe. I mean, that's what we should be focusing on, in my view.
But the military is traditionally a very conservative sector, isn't it?
There are some within the military who you could probably describe as traditional, but I wouldn't describe myself as such. I think that all key leaders are respectful of their past, but they are looking to the future of their organisation. And the Australian Army will not be the force it needs to be in the third decade of this century unless we better embrace cultural, ethnic and gender diversity.
The Australian Army itself has come under a fair degree of fire given, as we know, some scandal involving the treatment of women soldiers. You came out very strongly against that. Just explain to the international viewer what happened and what you did to address that.
Well, there was an incident last year where it was shown that a group of men, not junior men either, men with a degree of seniority in my army, had been working together, particularly across the internet, to capture imagery of women and share it in the most disgusting and repugnant way. There was a decision made by the government of Australia and by the Chief of the Chief of the Defence Force to deal with this in a different way. And I became the public face of that, and I wanted to be, because I wanted to be able to say, not just to my army but my nation, that there is no tolerance for this behaviour. We're going to stand shoulder to shoulder with victims and men and women of good character and intent, to rid ourselves of these people who completely degrade what our army should be standing for. Now, we have taken real action there. We have overseen the involuntary removal of a number of men from our organisation. There is absolutely no tolerance here.
Lieutenant General Morrison, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Annette. It's been great to be able to be part of this wonderful initiative. Thank you.